Alright, so here's another one from today. Game one, I don't think I kept this. So I do the whole four horsemen thing, where I want I want two of four things. I want a discard spell, a bridge, um, a saga, or some combination of a mill rock and lantern or mill rock and bauble. And I only have one of those. So I want two. This, however, I do have a saga. Unfortunately, I don't have another thing, but the saga is so good here that I'm willing to just keep this, and I'll just pitch the second lantern. Go for the discard spell, and opponent is on the Goryo's deck. So I take the Goryo's Vengeance. Um, I figure with the Tainted Indulgence, if I take that, they have plenty of ways to discard creatures. Um, I don't, and I figure if I take that, then they'll just draw one of those. But they only have four Goryo's Vengeance in the deck, so I figure, okay, chances are they're not going to draw one of the three left. Oh my god, that coffee is amazing. They keep a card on top with this wheel. So I see what it is with the bauble, since they kept it on top. And it's a priest. Fortunately, in this list I'm running, this is during the Nadu meta, so I went up to 61 cards, adding a third needle as my 61st card because of the Nadu meta. Now that means that I can needle priest and I'll be okay. So that's gone. Let's see. Their godless shrine is gone. Okay. And then what I'm looking for here is a Grafdigger's Cage with the saga. So first, I'm going to lantern to see what their top card is. I have a bridge, which is great. And I'll needle the priest. Sack the bauble because I really want to draw a third land. I don't draw a third land. So I suspend the tutor. And I'm just kind of hoping that my opponent doesn't get anything good here. There we go. So, looks like they drew another Tainted Indulgence off of that. So I use that Tainted Indulgence, draw Marsh Flats. So here I'm just trying to dodge them getting Goryo's Vengeance. Now what's interesting is they did not discard the Atraxas for the Tainted Indulgence. I'm thinking it's because they figured that eventually they're going to just hardcast them, which my opponent does do. So I do another needle on priest in case my opponent gets a prismatic ending on needle. In hindsight, I probably could have named something else and been fine. And opponent's clock is ridiculously slow. My tutor's going to come off suspend. So I'm going to go get a land. And I get a basic land. Yeah. Go ahead and Stirrings for a third land. Play a Shredder. Establish a harder lock And what's funny here is I didn't think about Atraxa, them hard casting Atraxa, so that's a mistake on my part. So Delta's gone. They did sack at least one flats. I don't want them to have ephemerate, so I'm milling the stuff during their upkeep. There is a grief, but I don't want them to take my bridge. And it's unfortunate because I really want this Mycosynth Gardens, but I decided let's go for it. And unfortunately, they just have a land on top. So I'm going to fetch, get my other basic swamp, and play a bridge. So it's at this point that I'm like, oh crap, they're pretty close to just casting Atraxa. I need to worry about that. However, I realized that even if they cast Atraxa, they won't be able, and they get a prismatic ending, they won't be able to ending my bridge before I get gardens. And another good thing there is it means that they are milling themselves a bunch of cards. So yeah, there's a prismatic ending. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping that gardens open for their ending. They're gonna try to ending my bridge. I'll copy it, and everything is fine. So I'm milling myself to try to get another bridge just in case, because I do know they have another Atraxa, and I don't know if they have another ending that I gotta worry about. So yeah, milling myself, still not getting a bridge. So I desperation it one more time, and instead there's a cage. So I'm just kind of hoping. Go ahead and grab my lantern. They do have an ephemerate, so I gotta worry about that. So I sack a lantern, and there's a archaeologist on top. So I sack lantern and make him shuffle again. So now I'm blind. They end up drawing the archaeologist anyways. Mill a bunch of stuff to get an ephemerate. They ephemerate their dude, but now if we look at the cards in their library, they only have 18. And they're about to exile 10. Yeah. And they hit no prismatic endings there. Oh. I do hit another bridge. Finally. Took a lot of digging to get there, but yeah. So now, even if the opponent has another ending, they actually have to get 2 endings off of this. One of each card type. So if they do this and there's 2 prismatic endings in this group, then that means they exile one of their own endings, and they will also only have 4 cards left in library, and I'll just mill them out. They have to kill me this turn. So in response to this, I go ahead and mill them, and they concede. Because yeah, they'd have to get for them to win. They would have to get one ending in this group, and their last card in their deck has to be an ending. So we go to game 2. Computer's struggling. There we go. Okay, sideboard. I side out my profane tutors. I side in my soulless jailers. Um, and I sided out a needle for. What did I side in that last? Oh, I sided out a needle and a cookbook for two other things. Well, oh, I know what they were. Collective brutalities. Yeah. So, it looks like I brought in 3 brutalities. Yeah. So 1, 2. Oh yeah, because I only have 2 jailers in the side right now in this list. So, yeah, 2 jailers, 3 brutalities. Hand looks amazing. Opponent does have a discard spell though and takes my bridge, which is unfortunate. The good news is I top deck a Thoughtseize. And I see my opponent has Consign, a Tainted Indulgence, and lands. So things aren't looking bad at all. There's another Thoughtseize on top, so I'm going to go ahead and cast that. I think I cast the Lantern first, though. No, Thoughtseize first. Yeah, they drew a Solitude. So I got rid of the Indulgence so they can't draw extra spells. And opponent is laughing about how I top deck 2 Thoughtseize in a row. There's a Wrath of the Skies, so I gotta make my opponent shuffle. And I did mention in another video, I think, that if you use Fetch Lands right now, it appears there might be a bug on MTGO where it doesn't actually shuffle your deck. So I was worried about that, so with the Lantern Shuffles. I know in Game 1 the Lantern Shuffles worked, but I don't know if it's like an always going to work thing, so I do try to play around the possibility that it didn't shuffle the library, or they randomly drew a copy anyways. So playing a Lantern and a Jailer. There's an ending. Unfortunate. Now I am playing as if my opponent has Wrath of the Skies. Oh yeah, I milled the Prismatic Ending. Crap. We missed what they drew. I think it was a Grief? No, oh, an Archaeologist. Yeah, they can get Goryo's Vengeance. So there, I know that my opponent has a Solitude and a Vengeance and 1 Unknown in hand, and I don't know if they got a Wrath of the Skies off of that Lantern Shuffle to blind draw. So in hindsight, if I had copied my Shredder here with the Gardens, and if I had known my opponent didn't have Wrath, probably would be much better here, but I was afraid to do that. So I just milled them instead, and I'm just kind of hoping. So mill myself, trying to look for a bridge. And I don't play the Pixis yet. And again, really, kind of wish I knew, but it's okay. So now I know that my opponent has a Solitude. They're going to Solitude at the end of my turn. So I have to hit a bridge right now, and I just kind of have to hope that they don't have Wrath. So now they're going to put me down to 6. mill myself. Saga's not going to do it. Mill myself again. Lanterns, or Shredder's not going to do it. Mill myself again. So there's a Brutality. Brutality, however, will kill the Grief, and that'll buy me an extra turn. In addition, I can use the second mode in order to pick the Wrath of the Skies that they might have in their hand. So I decided to do that, and it turns out they did not. The random card they drew was an Ulamog. So now I know I can play out the Pixis to try to dig further. But I do have to, like, dig bridge right now. I think I mill with the Pixis. Yeah. Now they do also have an Atraxa on top, so I think I used the, okay. I thought I used the Pixis first, but yeah, so I'm just digging now for, so I sack my Lantern and draw the one basic forest that was on top. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that happens. So if I had known that my opponent drew this instead of Wrath of the Skies, probably would be in a lot better place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not that close to hard casting this. So we go to game 3. I think I sideboarded the same way. No. There we go. And this time I sided in the Bantu's Last Reckoning. Because I realized I can just wipe the board there, and no matter what they got, and I'm okay. So I side out a couple of trophies, because I realized they don't really have anything I got to worry about there. Yeah, so minus these two, and I brought in 2 Bantus. Well, it looks like I brought in all 3 Bantus. I sided out. Oh yeah, I'm at 61 cards. So, I can't remember if I kept this hand. I think I might have. Yeah. Yeah. So, our opponent's got a pretty stacked hand here. It's really good. I can't remember what I take here. I don't have to take Wrath yet. I think I took the Frog here. And my plan here is, I'm going to try to make constructs to really kind of put my opponent on the back foot. And kind of force my opponent to have to use the ending. They can't do Wrath of the Skies yet anyways. Oh, Undercity Sewers. Oh yeah, they scribe to the top. Or Surveil to the top. So yeah. So, go for another Thoughtseize. This time I take the ending. Again, I'm not too worried about Wrath of the Skies because I have discard for that, and they don't have the 2 white mana for it yet. They do have a Consigned to Memory, though, which I'm going to have to worry about. So I play the Needle on Flooded Strand just to cut them off of the double white for Wrath for now. So here, now I'll go ahead and do the discard. Take the Wrath. Let's see, they got 4 cards. So these, I still have to worry about the Consigned to Memory. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play out the Lantern. And then if they want to use the consign on that, they can. Now what they can do is next turn they can use consign and counter the saga stuff. So they're going to Tainted Indulgence so I don't see what they get to draw. And they discard the Flooded Strand. So they do have 2 unknowns in hand now. So I used the Bauble, and the reasoning why is I'm hoping to dig for a discard spell. And I get it. I remember I cited in 3 Brutality, so probability of me hitting a discard spell is pretty good. And they get to see me draw it. Now here what they could have done, and maybe should have done, is use the consign. But they did not. I'm not sure why. I think maybe they were trying to save it for a bridge or something. But now, since they didn't, that's going to give me an opportunity to make a construct, get the Shredder, and Thoughtseize. In hindsight, I really think they probably should have used the consign. Okay, they have... There. Now I do have to worry about that Archaeologist. But they decide that it's not good enough for them. So they're going to fetch Surveil. And they keep the Vengeance on top. Which I am okay with. So they play the back street. There's a bridge. I mill myself to the bridge. Play the bridge. Well, first I attack. Sorry. And they Solitude. I don't know why they did that exactly. So now the game is going to get a lot easier. They do have a Goryo's Vengeance in hand still. Since I'm okay with them drawing the Grief, I'm pretty sure I mill myself here. Oh, no, I drew it, I guess, and played it. And there's the Vengeance. Milling myself. Saga's gonna create a stronger lock. Frog's not gonna do squat, so still milling myself to try to achieve a stronger lock. Yeah, I mentioned they have a lot of sideboard cards against me. I do not crack my fetch because I want to draw the Pixis. So now it's a 3-rock lock. And that's a neat card that they brought in. Or that they've had in, maybe. I don't know. Now I'll fetch. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, and that time it shuffled. I don't know if it was just random chance or what. And I do mill my Brutality. I don't need it. I just want to make the lock stronger. Uh-oh. Yeah, and opponent concedes. Thinking that's all. I don't know how many answers they have, but even if they get another Prismatic or something, I get to copy bridge at instant speed, and they're not going to win from here. especially with the, now it's going to be a 4 rock block, so 4 times 2 plus 1 is 9. They have to have 9 good cards in a row, and then I'm probably going to get another rock from this Ancient Stirrings. So, yeah, that's game.